Happy Canada Day, everyone. It is July 1st. You can see the ground and some puddles. Got a nice little half-inch rain last night. And literally, just up the road, I'm just looking for my glasses. Just up the road, we had EF0 tornado touchdown. So no real damage done to us. You wouldn't even known that there was a tornado that had hit, other than the videos of the funnel clouds. The funnel cloud. So you see that? I don't know. Camera can't pick it up, but there's a neighboring farm that it touched down in, and it just went through a wheat field and lodged a bit of the wheat, and took some sheets of tin off an old damaged barn. So nothing serious, nobody got hurt, which was awesome. But kind of the talk of the town right now is a tornado hit Lucan. So check out the cows on Canada Day. Looks like they got lots of feed and lots of corn. We'll see how today goes. I imagine the sun's gonna come out and it's gonna be fairly humid. They did show up yesterday to set posts and stuff like that, but didn't get anything done. And I think, what else was they? I think they're coming to pour concrete tomorrow. Not 100% sure. So we'll get some chores done, and then every Canada Day I go around with the family and we do some family photos in the crops and check them all out. Most of the time it hasn't rained or it's not muddy, but this year we're gonna have some mud. Doing our little tour. It's something I like to do every year. So let's go get some chores done, and then likely catch up with you guys in the field when we're doing our annual crop tour. Well, we're off to a great start. So, says the boiler's not filling. So we got lots of hungry calves here. I don't know what the issue is. So, of course, on a holiday, I'm gonna have to call somebody to come have a look at the calf feeder. If you've got a calf feeder on your farm, comment below some of the trials and tribulations that you've had with it. It's great when it works, but man, when it doesn't work, now you could argue that's what comes with buying a used system, but a few other farmers I have talked to off camera that have one, they say it's a long-term dependability test on them is not the greatest. Now, what I think happens is our water has got quite a bit of iron in it, so I think that jams up some stuff. But anyways, Joe's on his way. He's gonna have a look at it so we can feed the rest of the calves. Don't need to feed the stalkers. There's no field work to do, but I think it's a little too wet to do our crop tour just yet, unless I want to get soaked, because with that rain and it's quite humid, there's a heavy dew, so the leaves are all wet. So I'll just wait and see what Joe wants to do when he gets down here. All right, we're at our first field with our crop tour. Don't hit the corn, Andrea, just the weeds. I sprayed this, but this farm is weedy. That or I didn't have the boom charged. But what do you think of the corn so far, Andrea? And there comes Warren and Mom.
Here comes the tunnel.
It's not too wet out here.
It looks like a tunnel down there.
Yeah, it does look like a tunnel.
Are we going this way or this?
We're going this way.
It looks
Then we get over to here, got more weeds. But we'll get up in the, I think it's just, this is how weedy this farm is, because you can see where I sprayed, and then we've got new growth. Good farms are weedy farms. So there we are.
Daddy, I need to see.
You can't see me? All right, we'll find a row and we'll get that perfect shot to show how good our crops look. You're stuck? Okay, push through. Push through. I better help Andrea. All right, so we're out in the field here, and you can see we have got more weeds coming, but the crop looks pretty good overall. We've got some tillers here, which signifies that we've had lots of nutrients and good growing conditions. Likely what will happen is when we get dry or whatever, that'll draw back, or if it stays really good, it'll throw an ear. But I like the color of the corn. It is growing fast, so it does look like it is short of nutrients, but it just, for how fast it grows, it can't take up enough nutrients at a time. We're looking for disease, which we don't see, and probably, well, it's belly high. Probably once it gets shoulder high, we'll come in here and we'll do our last pass of nitrogen, and then probably 10 days, 2 weeks after that, we'll come back in with a fungicide. My future farm hand here, Warren, is checking her out. Holy! What do you think?
Hey.
What do you think, buddy? Is it good? Yeah. Yeah, the corn's good. All right, let's go check on some wheat and beans. All right, we're now checking out some of our beans that we planted. This is a field I sprayed Sunday, so it also doubles up, checking to make sure that the herbicide I put on is starting to work. Roundup takes a bit. It's not a fast acting one. But the beans look good. You can kind of see that we're starting to get some wilting here on this thistle. So we shall see. In between the row, I really like how my pre-emerge, there's where we spelt beans doing our test plot. So right here is where we've got our soybean test plot. So this is a new variety here from DeKalb, an Extend Flex one. So what's nice about this one in the future, if we like it, we can spray it with Liberty in crop. I'll still use my XtendiMax and Zidua as a burn down, but if we want to come in and smoke some of these big weeds, Liberty can kind of help do that. Another thing in here, this is a different variety right here. So I believe this is a 1.6 maturity bean. We've got little flowers starting to form. So we've got, you finding flowers, Andrea? Pretty little flowers. Yeah, there's a little soybean. And then in the field is a longer maturity bean. It's a 2.3. And it's probably not flowering yet. Not yet. But everything looks pretty good. Our volunteer canola, same thing, it's looking yellow and not happy. I grew canola three years ago in here, so still growing it in here. So lots of moisture in the ground, so this stuff will take right off. And heat, they all look pretty good. made a test pit stop here at the farm. Haven't looked at any wheat yet, mainly because it rained and the cornfields are muddy enough, and I know the leaves of the wheat hold on to a lot of moisture, and well, it's really not much to look at in the wheat. We're close to harvest, so maybe if it's drier end of the week, kind of do a 2-part series. But one thing at the home farm that we have is we have a hybrid corn test plot with DeKalb. So I thought that might be something interesting to come look at. You can kind of start to see differences in the hybrids. So got some dead weeds in here, so made a little final pass of Roundup as well on this farm to clean up some weeds. The reason we did that was we had some grasses coming and I didn't want them to go to seed. I've got my drone with me too, so we'll maybe get the drone up in the air and then we can kind of see the different hybrids. I can see them, but that's because I know what I'm looking for. You might not necessarily know what we're looking for. So here's the start of the plot. Well, technically this is the start of the plot. That's just the field check. So that's the one variety 10133, and then here is a new 96-day VT4 Pro from DeKalb. So it looks pretty good. This corn, the first cornfield we were in was planted Sunday. This was planted the following Monday or evening. Here's 9621 from DeKalb. So they're both 96-day maturity corns. Both look pretty good. I would say the new one is maybe a little more leafy in its design. Then we've got 4808 here. Section shutoffs are suspect, but they overlap at the other end, so when it comes to the test plot, it doesn't make much of a difference. We've got a new variety here, a little bit so on the top of a hill, so the front doesn't look as good. Then we've got 100-01. I really like this corn. It was new for this year. It's a really sharp looking variety. Good growth out of it. And then we've got 10133. So this is what you can see. We've got varietal differences in leaf structure. So 10133 I find is not a very tall plant to begin with, kind of medium tall. Whereas this 100-01 looks to be a nice tall aggressive growing plant. It's got different trait technology in it in comparison to the 10133. Uh-oh. Sprayer guy got a little carried away here. We'll have to make note of that when we harvest. He got a little close to it. Some deer damage. But no, overall it all looks pretty good. This is corn planted into oat stubble, and we just let the volunteer oats sort of over winter, and they created like a cover crop, held the soil and nutrients in place. So based on what the internet says, I should have 400 bushel corn this year using cover crops, but we shall see. So the plot just goes back here a little bit. We'll get out of the sprayer damage. I'll go up to the front and I'll make note of that we had some sprayer damage, and we'll maybe, I think the rest of the plot looks pretty good. We'll maybe just harvest that row. We'll just take out take out a little bit and then just harvest it, so it's, you know, so we can compare. But if it wins the plot, then that's the corn you need to grow, because it doesn't need to, it out competed the rest. So yeah, it all looks really good. Let's get the drone up and see if you guys can see any differences in the plot. All right, just Jed with the concrete, guys. We've got schooner woods out of, well, I think they're out of the Mitchell area. I don't necessarily know where their home base is, but they're out of the Mitchell area. They did the concrete work in when we renovated the calf barn, so we got them to do the cattle yard. So he's just out here marking it because they want to form it up tomorrow and pour those walls. So hopefully we get that. And then I think our electrician's here working on something. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Gavin. He wanted a shutout last time, so now he's in person. So this is even a bigger discount now. We get him on camera. All right, made it down to David's, where we have some calves. He's feeding for us. So this is where they come down after they've been weaned, dehorned, and the wheel weight's taken off of them. So we've got them down here. So they're all doing well, all good size down here. So we want to get that yard done, because there's pretty much this whole pen and probably a lot of this pen, most of this pen too, that can likely come down or come back home. I know everybody in this one for sure. Just looking at their tag numbers, they're all a good size. Oh, this is a nice little setup here. They all do well down here. And these ones here, they still need a bit more time. Let them frame out. We got our one Jersey back in there, Jerry. So we'll probably bring down the south side of the calf barn down, pop them in a pen, and then bring a big slug of them back. Got some red Holsteins in here. I think we got two. Yeah, there's the other one. Yeah, he's big. They kind of stall out for a little bit and then they take right off. So everything seems to do pretty well. Down here they just get from our feed company, they get a beef backgrounder, 14% plain. So it's 14% protein. It's got some fiber in there and all their mineral. And you're supposed to feed it at 4.5 kgs a day, but which is about 10 pounds a day. But we're not feeding them that much a day because they've always got free choice hay in front of them, and it doesn't seem to be slowing them down one bit. So then they'll come back to our place when they're this size or a little bit bigger, and then they will start on that TMR ration with some corn silage, ground corn, distillers, and hay. So they hit about 1,000 pounds. So we're supposed to be getting some family pictures in the wheat down here, so we're just waiting for the photographer to show up, i.e. my mother-in-law, or Danielle's mom. She's gonna come get some pictures in the field with us. we should be all good to go. They just had a nap on the way down, so they're just can't just take them out of the car seat after a nap. They get a little grumpy with us. So just having a look at the wheat here. What's different about this wheat than the wheat we have at home is this was just broadcasted and worked in with a vertical tillage unit or a high-speed disc last fall. And then, so it wasn't planted with an air drill, so there's no rows. But you can tell we've got some nice big heads, big plump kernels. It's starting to ripen in. A lot less stripe rust pressure down here than back home too. But we still did a fungicide on for the crop. This field of wheat looks really good. I was a little concerned in the spring how it overwintered, but once I gave it a good shot of nitrogen and just managed it the same, it's turned out really well. I think there's going to be a lot of wheat here. We've got good number of heads and large heads. So this I think is a pretty good crop of wheat. I'm surprised for how much rain we got down here yesterday, how dry the wheat is, but that's the beauty of wheat. It's still trying to fill out the head, and so with this sun and this nice breeze here, it's not super hot, but it'll be packing on weight into those kernels, which we've got. They look like they're going to be decent sized kernels too. So this got a growth regulator on it, so it shortened it up, so it makes the stems a lot thicker, and so the wheat's not very tall. Doesn't affect straw yield because it still produces the same amount of biomass. It just condenses it down into a smaller plant so that it's less likely to lodge. So no, real happy with this wheat and how big the heads are. It's probably some of the biggest heads of wheat I have seen personally, so can't complain there. All right guys, we're back now. Just spent the afternoon in a pool chilling and relaxing. It got hot this afternoon. So anyways, we're just out here checking my spray job. That's the one thing I was concerned with, is obviously right here I had sprayer with the sections or whatever didn't come on with my pre, and those lamb's quarters got too big on me. And once those lamb's quarters are too big, it's hard for the herbicide to take them out. So I might have to do a respray. We got the little ones, but I might have to do something that's got a little more pack-a-punch, you would say, and get the big lamb's quarters on the headlands. But we got some thistles coming. The way lamb's quarters grow, that thing could have come up after I sprayed it. But overall, these beans look really good. So I'm happy with how they look. And they're clean for the most part. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of weed pressure here. But the leaves are healthy. They're growing. We got 2 trifoliates out. So we'll maybe see the end of the week and hit them with some reflex and knock out the rest of the weeds that are here. Like, this guy's not happy, but he's not dying. But we'll hit him again. But I do like how the overall growth looks. And they got good color and nice big leaves starting to form. But we'll give these weeds some time and see if they do shrivel up. And we'll check the end of the week, because it's only been sprayed 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. They're sprayed Sunday, Monday, and today's Tuesday. So see what they're like the end of the week, and if we got to come back in and touch things up, we will. So here's this wheat here. You can see in the video it's waist high, it's a lot taller. I wouldn't say the heads are as big, but there's maybe a few more of them. And then even in the last video, in comparison to what it looks like now, this wheat is really ripening in quick. So you can see here, we don't have the head, this head didn't fill out all the way. We had a bunch of aborted kernels, and that's to be expected with the high heat that we had in the latter half of grain fill. We've got some big cracks in the ground, and the wheat's ripening in. We do still have good plant health here, so we are still adding bushels and weight to the kernels. So it'll be interesting to see how this wheat finishes out. Based on the amount of green here, it's probably going to be closer to 3 weeks outside of it turning really hot and no moisture. But we've got good moisture in the ground, so I'm guessing this is probably 3 weeks away. We'll probably be the 18th to the 20th of July. You can see here the spray's been burning these guys back, but we'll just have to give it some time here and see how long we got. But there is another spray I can put on here called Reflex, and it's pretty potent stuff in comparison to the Basagran we put on. And Basagran works, but the weeds just have to be small, which they were. So it should. I'm hoping we hit the timing on the weeds just right. But like I said, we still got some time. We can come back in with some Reflex. But that pretty well wraps up this crop tour video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're a farmer or whatever, comment what you guys do on as far as family traditions or traditions, what you normally do on Canada Day. If you do a crop tour like I do, and kind of I always take pictures on July 1st every year. I like to look back and see what the crop looks like at the same point in time year over year. That's kind of why I like to do it. Kind of gives me a benchmark if we feel we're behind or ahead. And yeah, and also comment below what you guys think the growing season is going to be like for the rest of the year. And always, for sure, give the videos, if you like them, a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and we appreciate that. So till next time, guys, keep her between the ditches.